Hi, how's it going? So today we've finally made it through all of the other stages. Now we get to put cities all over the place, or as we've determined in the beginning video of this map. A lot of them are going to be probably abandoned, because that's the feel I'm going for. I've got a die over here. This is going to be our figuring out if a place is abandoned or not. I'm giving it a 25% chance that something's there and not abandoned. Some work I did before this, you'll notice that there's some more. I did get more of the fine detail done. So I got all the forest legs colored. Some of the other mountains colored some. I'm not sure what I want to color some of them. Some of them I want to be green. I'll figure that out later, but I got all the canyon detail in. A bunch of the smaller forests and stuff all colored, and I got all the forests. Basically, I just did all the busy work off camera, so yes. Hopefully all abandoned cities abound. But yeah, I just wanted to do all the grunt work, or the stuff that's not entertaining to watch. You don't want to watch me just do that for hours. But now that I've done that, we can move on to cities and creation and other stuff. So, I was trying to figure out how to represent cities and stuff on the map, whether they were abandoned or not. So I came up with some keys. Yeah. So I think I'm settling on these two colors. The more red one for active cities, cities with people in them. Whatever those people will be, it's that's to determine later. And then the like tealy green I've got here for just overgrown cities, cities that are abandoned or whatnot. I say cities, but there's a whole range. If you want to follow along with the tables down there, you can click on the world maps, or the map dice picture is actually this table. But the world docs is the link to the full document with all the tables. Of which I'm using our new and forgotten land map tables. So, yeah, let's get into it. So for this also, I'm just rolling d10s and 12s. The reason for that, in this case, is that I didn't want to bother with the d4s, d6s, and d8s individually, because having more of them. Hey, thanks, Sparky. Yeah, so I didn't want to bother with d4s, d6s, and d8s because they'll have a more focus on the lower end of the chart that we're following, a more focus on farming community, village, and whatnot. And I kind of just want a random spread of it all, so I'm kind of focusing on the 10s and 12s just to have a more random range. Having the random range lets me know that if a farm does come up, that the farm is important somehow, and not just because the land we're creating here is the new and forgotten land. The forgotten part is the important part for this, because it is any farms that would have been around there, probably around established cities, and probably are overgrown or dilapidated beyond importance. Any farm or smaller range thing that comes up on the map, we know is actually important or has survived the test of time for whatever reason. Yeah, we can go along with that. All right, but without further ado, I'm gonna turn this down for only a second. Where do we want to start? little out of hand there. Sure. We'll just move things into there. I'll just reroll that one. This one here. This one here. This one here. I just want everything kind of on land that we've already got. In an earlier video, kind of just created a land because a die rolled out into sea, and we determined that that was like a merfolk or some other fantasy water-based race that would be part of that. So, but for this, I want everything inland for now. Alright. Stuff out of the way. Crowded workspace. Alright. Got that there. Perfect. Alright, so turn up the volume again. Cool. Hi, my voice is back. So yeah, I said it while it was quiet, but I'll repeat again. I just tucked everything into land areas. I didn't want to create cities out in the water for no reason, which is something you can do. It's something we've done in an earlier video. We created a merfolk race city somewhere in the ocean. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but I wanted to keep everything inland right now. So yeah, now we're going to take this die, and on a 16 to 20, we're going to say that it actually has people there. So there's 7 and 8 here. There's a large town and a castle fortress town. So this island is actually pretty busy. We'll figure out if the large town... No, they're both abandoned. So, large town here. A large town and castle fortress town. Right in the mountains. Castle town. Cool. I'm gonna fill those in with this tealy green to let us know that they're abandoned or overgrown. Cool. Yeah, and that'll be like that. So 8 over here. There's gonna be a lot more rolling in between each of these results, just based on the nature of trying to figure out if they're gonna be abandoned or not. Hopefully the rolling's not too loud. No, that's fine. 8. Castle Fortress Town, great. And it is abandoned. So... cool. So yeah, I was talking with a friend last night. He was asking me about why I do random generation of a map this way rather than just using a random generator online. Which is a good point. There's lots of good resources out there for it. I've used Texographer. I can't remember the name of it, but there's the one that actually did a cool scape of the land. I just found that personally it was a little impersonal. It kind of just threw it a map out there, and you can go over piece by piece. And if that's for you, I definitely say you should do that. It might save you some time. This definitely is a little what's the word I'm looking for? It's a little more time consuming, as you might notice how long the videos take. But I like this method because it lets me go through each area kind of bit by bit, see the landscape shaped bit by bit, and we kind of it's better for me for brainstorming, getting ideas out of the map as we generate it. But if randomly generating something that way for you is good for you, I say go do it, because yeah, nothing wrong with that. And this also lets me scratch a little art itch as well. I'm no great artist, but I do like drawing everything. Yeah. 8. Oh, a little castle town in the forest. I think I forgot to do roll in the last one, but yeah, still abandoned. It's only got a 25% chance of being not abandoned. So 6. There we are. I'm gonna C or F. Castle or fortress. Hey, there we go. Not abandoned. Some people are living by this basin over here. Interesting to know. Cool. Farming village. Just a small little farming village. And it is abandoned. So the interesting thing is if enough of these unabandoned areas or reclaimed areas, whatever they may be, if enough of them are next to each other, we might start drawing roads between them. So that could be interesting. So here I've got a 10 right in the. There's a lot of things that have landed here. Here it's a swamp. You can tell by the purple outline that we've done on it. It's got a green coloring as well, but also it's had a light forest. So it's a very tree based swamp at the moment. So D12. So it was only a 10. I see. Sorry, I'm used to the high value being the special one. So 10 here. It's just a large city. Large city in the swamp. Great. LC in the swamp. And it is not abandoned. What? That's super cool. Alright. So an interesting part about that, in my mind, is that maybe that large city is for some reason defensible, or obviously it's in the swamp, so maybe there's like some fertility in the swamp. Large city in the swamp. You feel for those people. Yeah, I mean, it's just I feel like there's a good canopy. You can sit in the shade constantly. Just be by the swamp water. It's right by the sea too. It's a swampy seaside area. I might have said in an earlier video that the swamp's actually like a saltwater swamp, so that'd be kind of but maybe there's like good fish, or like the water is actually quite lively, maybe, which would be a great place to put a city if you can purify the water and then also have an abundance of wildlife or huntable goods. The fishing better be worth it. I mean, like, to still have people there, it probably is worth it. 8. Castle, fortress, town in the cold fields, the frigid fields. That was 8. I want to figure out if it's... Oh, also not abandoned. Interesting. Castle, town. So I picked the red and or the green because they're a little off from the colors we are already using. Gray was a consideration because it's a city color. You know, because gray, I think stone and working like that. But it wouldn't show up nicely on the map. I feel like I would have a hard time trying to find it when we were going through and maybe making some backstory for it. And just forgetting places to develop would have, would have sucked. That's all there is to it, really. Castle or fortress. Abandoned. Castle or fortress. Abandoned. And someone who was following along the first and second video gave the recommendation or the idea that maybe this is an imperfect map for when it is distributed. Where did I take that from? Right in here. When it is distributed to the players or their characters when they go through it. So maybe this castle fortress is actually in these mountains, and the connection there isn't perfect. But I think I'll leave that up to whoever ends up running this area. It's a 9. 9 is a city. C is for city. Good. Is the city... The city is abandoned. Alright. So it's interesting also thinking through, like, what was this world before? Why are these cities here? Why are they no longer... Like, what was the landscape like before? Maybe roadways that could have been. That might be an interesting thing to think about as we finish up this. Once we got all of our cities down. Did I say it was abandoned or not? I don't know. There we go. Abandoned. 6. Castle or fortress. Oh, I didn't even check. I was going to say it wasn't. Sometimes that's fine too. No. If you ever make an accident, just roll with it. No need to like stress about trying to fix your map. How do you fix a thing you're currently developing as you go? So get the Bob Ross mentality again. I know I've brought it up before. A little star for a capital. But yeah, it's just roll with it, you know? Abandoned. Abandoned capital in the forest. 16. Ooh, it's not abandoned. That's a castle or fortress. Oh. I like the idea of in the beginning of the valley, there's a castle or fortress there. And it is not abandoned. Interesting. 2. 2 is farming community. Yeah, another farming in the valley. It's a 14. Yeah, farming for forgotten farming community. I'll put it up a little more. I think farming. Oh, FC. What could they have been farming in the ravine? Oh, that's something I forgot to do. Oh well, I'll leave it for next time. Rice, yeah. Is rice typically? I guess rice is farmed in a. I don't know much about rice farming. I've just realized. How's it? How's it made? Who knows? Someone knows. That's how we have rice. Castletown. Castletown up here. Is the Castletown abandoned? Yep. Alright. For village. Ooh. Village in the forest. There we are. Abandoned. Large city. Large city. Oh, and the infested cliffs. I kind of want this to be abandoned. Yeah, cool. LC, a large city. And it's abandoned. I want it to be abandoned because I want whatever is infesting here to kind of be the problem of why ever that large city is gone now. Just a tiny little farm. Oh. In the haunted and wild island. Alright, here's the funny thing. If this isn't, like, what are they farming? It is abandoned. Ghost farmers. Farming for ghosts. It's La City. It's a city on the island, not abandoned. Nice. Just some hills and some grass and a city. Oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna put it on the coast here. That's maybe another possible base camp area. So I know we talked about this one down here, but now it's surrounded by a spooky dark forest. Yeah, ghosts are pretty lucrative to the right people. I might be able to sell one to a witch or vegan. City on the edge of the ravine. Ooh, this is gonna be an interesting one. Abandoned. Yeah, okay. We didn't get too many high numbers around here, which is interesting because we rolled the special modifier war torn here. I like that maybe something tried to tear it away. We're trying to figure out what this giant ravine, this crack in the earth is. It's got forest at the bottom now, but trying to figure out what it is and why it's like that. I think it'll be interesting to brainstorm on that later. I mean, I'm constantly brainstorming on it. I just haven't figured out what might be a good solution for it. Farming village. A circle. And that farming village is abandoned. Yeah. As will be the fate of 75% of these things, in theory. Two is farming community. I'll farm up there. And abandoned. All right. And speaking of other ways to randomly generate maps, I might actually do. I was thinking about doing a video in Hexographer. Gotta stay caffeinated. Doing a video in Hexographer and kind of showing how to kind of shape the map to what you want it to be in that, or give it some flavor from the thing it randomly generates you. Yeah, so that is on my list of things I kind of want to do in the future. Farm in the forest. Lumber mill, perhaps? And it is... Oh, someone's in the farm in the forest! That's cool. Alright, cool. I'll come back down here. Get that way. Five. Now there's a lot of numbers right here together. So I'm gonna do the 5 first. It's a town in the forest. How many of these are gonna be abandoned or not? Technically, we've got 4. One of them should have people in it, if math is correct. I'm no mathematician. A large town. The large town is populated. Now there is something to be said about sustainability of towns. There's just towns that if you have too many people and enough resources, or people to get resources for people in the area, that's how ghost towns happen. That's how not actual ghosts, but that's how people abandon towns, because if you don't have the right people to come together and work as a community, you end up with abandoned areas. And this kind of makes sense to me. The large town next to the town, maybe they tried to spread out and make their own new town, but didn't have enough people. Maybe the large town in the forest is actually maybe a little overcrowded. So I got a 12 here. 12 means we go to the special modifiers. I'm gonna roll the d20 on the special modifier also. See what kind of place that is. 9 and 5. So 9. Different 9, 5. So it's gonna be a town of some sort. Oh, interesting. So it is a forbidden or taboo town. Is it abandoned though? It is abandoned. So I think there's some culture here in this town. This town having denied people to go to that ghost town. Yeah, or maybe something happened there. Something to ponder. I got a farm up in the mountains. I'm just gonna put the farm here actually. And the farm. Ooh, there's people on the farm. So maybe it's more of a the large. Maybe the large town needs the farm. But they need to go around to the taboo town. All right. F. Yeah, I'll go over here. 10. 10 is... Scroll back up. Large city. Interesting. Large city. LC. All right. Oh, that's what we need to do. 2, abandoned. Eight. 8 is castle or fortress town. Castle town. Just on the edge of the cliffs. Great. This one. Yeah. Abandoned. Any of these coastal towns might be cool staging areas for people coming in. Large city on the cliffs. Interesting. It's hard to get a thing in there, but we'll put a large city a little more in the forest than the top of the cliffs. Still needs a circle. And 14. It is abandoned. Seven. Right, I haven't done one. 7. Large town. Did we do that? Yeah, large town. Abandoned. 2. Farming community. Shoot, where we take it from? I'm just gonna put one here. I think that's where I took it from. And 20. Ooh, there's people there. It's a small little farming community. One farm in the brambles. So you have an ideal outcome for what you'd like, but the dice rolls say otherwise. what changes for you? It it's kind of just like go with the flow kind of situation, to be honest. I think the difference is I have like a mission statement of the title, a new and forgotten land. So I want it to be new for people coming to the land to explore it. So an exploration element, but also forgotten in that it is a civilization or civilizations left behind. So I have made decisions that kind of make it more jungly, a little more forested, is what I was going for. But I try to listen to the dice as often as I can. Like, I don't have an ideal set for the map shape or what's on it. But I like this ravine. That was all natural. Or rather, the dice said there was a ravine here, ravine here, ravine here, ravine here, ravine here, and I thought it would be cool to just connect them all. So yeah, kind of like it's just interpreting dice, but also trying to follow what you think might be cool ideas. Yeah. If I said if I said there was more planning and less winging it, I would be completely lying. It's just winging it, and the dice are a guideline. And sometimes the dice give you cool ideas, and sometimes you have cool ideas and say, "Screw you, dice! I've got a cool idea." Oh, just a little farm in the forest. All right. 6 next to a castle or fortress. Which is also, that's probably connected civilizations. A little farm feeds the fortress kind of effect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very, very true. Just do it. I was here. I got distracted by dice falling. It was an 8, so that is castle, fortress, town, castle, town. Another example of winging is when you move a die and forget where you moved it from. Yeah, just put it wherever. Where you best remember it. Don't be concerned. You know, that's another thing. This is something you're creating for fun, ideally. So don't sweat it. 5, town. Town in the forest. And it is abandoned. Nine. 9 is a city. Like, nice little city in the nook of the forest and the cliff. I like it. I like that aesthetic. And it is the opposite of vacant. A city up here as well. Just at the bottom of this. Oh, next to the farming? It was a city. City was abandoned. Alright. Six is castle or fortress. Nice. In the middle of that farming land. That's probably probably at least was once a yeah, because it's abandoned, was once like a farm baron. Farming village on the other side. Oh, I didn't check. 2. That is abandoned. And 8 is a castle fortress town. So castle town over here. And it is abandoned. That's what that means. Alright. 5. Town. Next to the putrid water. The town is abandoned. 3. Farming village. Right in there. Oh, farming V. Flying V. Oh. And it is also abandoned. Which is to be expected from most of these. Farm and farm here, eh? So this is gonna be tougher to do because it's kind of on the. Try and put it on the water, at least a little bit, and then in the frozen forest there's another. First one by the water, abandoned. Second one also abandoned. Okay. Really interesting to see what those end up, what kind of farms they end up being. 7, large town. Nice. Large town near the weird water. Alright. Large town. Abandoned. Ten is large city. Oh. Next to an infested swamp. Interesting. Let's see. There it is. Hey. Lots of people. Large city. Next to the infested swamp. A farm inside there. Inside the swamp. Which is abandoned. I don't know how well those are showing up. Hopefully well. Farm up there. Can be farming a bunch of different things. All regular forest, swamp, cliff. No one's farming anything anymore. 3. Farming village. Tuck it in here instead. Yeah, that's another thing. If something's hard to write where it was, like over here, this little farm farm. Up in here, it's hard to write. So like a decision I would make, like over here, I kind of landed somewhere hard to write. Just moving it into a place that kind of feels like it fits, or as you can get in there with a pen and actually denote it somehow. So that's a decision I would make where I don't listen to where the dice is, but I'd still like write what the dice says on it. Farming village. Right. I distracted myself. Farming village abandoned. 7, 2 large towns. Let's do this one first. Large town. That large town abandoned. Cool. This large town in the hills here. Oh, I've Rogered it a little. Large town is abandoned. This die, I should have said something beforehand, but I wanted it to be special. So in where the crab claw comes in, that was an 8, but because it was a special, I wanted to also roll on the special modifier table for, what was it? What was an 8 again? Castle or fortress town? Great. But so first is that's special. 18. Infinite or expansive. Maybe just a giant fortress. It is abandoned though. So as a castle town, I'm just gonna put EX like it's a Pokemon card. Castle Town, EX, Mega. You know how it goes. Cool. Back up to cities. It was abandoned though, so I do need to write that out. Cool. I can see that being a super cool, like, big fortress area. Maybe that's a point of contention when people find it. People want the big fortress on the land for village. Oh, that's a nice little village in the frozen forest. I didn't roll, but true. So people living in the frozen forest. Maybe that makes sense in this jungle landscape. The frozen forest is probably just, I haven't figured out why it's frozen yet. That is going to be its own adventure, I think. But having a frozen forest in such a what I imagine a humid area, like a jungle or rainforest, having a frozen area like that would be a shock to the normal wildlife. So having the ability to yourself live in that, you put yourself at an advantage of not being constantly attacked by predators that might be in the land. So I think that kind of makes sense to me. 5 is a town. I mean, who knows what predators are within the frozen forest itself? Maybe that's something to explore. Here. That town, there's people in it. Cool. This 12, something special. Let's figure out. 1 and 7. Ooh, 7 is large town. Large town. And what is 1? Ooh, deadly or dangerous large town. It is abandoned. I put danger just under it. Ugh. Another idea I was playing with the large or the abandoned things is maybe monstrous races or civilizations or an antagonistic force has taken over some of them, whereas the red or the civilized areas I feel have some sort of society or working or at least friendly nature to outsiders or trade or the like. So the abandoned places don't have to be totally abandoned, but maybe they're abandoned from regular civilization. Or trying to find the right words. Like I imagine maybe a savage race of orcs maybe take over one of the fortresses, that kind of thing. Whereas orcs can be civilized too. But you get the idea. I hope, and if not, well. City. And I think leaving that up to the people who are going to be running each individual area, what that will mean or be, or for each of the abandoned places, or even the not abandoned places. The city, is abandoned? Because this map, I don't know if I haven't mentioned it this video, I don't think, but this map is actually intended to be a West Marches style of play, with maybe not me as the only GM for the game. So if someone wants to run an adventure where the ship lands here and they want to explore this area, I would leave that up to that GM to kind of figure out what these two things are. I think I'm going to detail, I'm going to pick an area, kind of do some backstory for it, and that'd be the first place I would have a landing. Another option being leaving it up to the players, kind of giving them like I'd have to find a way to Photoshop out a lot of the middle and kind of just give them a coastline or different islands, like a scouting ship has sailed around the island to try to find different areas that might be good for landing, and then leave it up to them to figure out what they want to do. But for the purposes of video and showing you how I might do that, I'll probably pick an area to start with. So 6 is Castle or Fortress. Yeah, Castle or Fortress in the mountains. It's a good place for a castle and or fortress. That is not abandoned. Yeah, people living in the mountains. The mountain man. Sorry, I missed the orcs. Orcs would just be as well be the trailblazers of capitalism. Yeah, I mean, are they like strength capitalists? Like, the things that make me stronger are the things I covet? Can you trade strength? This is just interesting thoughts on orc economics. I did fail orc economics in class, though. Snake oil. The orcs just trade in snake oil? I thought of what popped into my head is the orcs trading snake oil is them just having like a big windmill, and then we go inside the windmill and it's just a guy throwing snakes into the mill and grinding them up and taking their oil, thinking that the snake oil actually did something, not getting the whole, you get it. just buckets of snakes into the mill. Alright, there's that. Is that Castle Town? Nope, abandoned. So a couple of these places might actually be good landing points for any adventurers coming to the island. I'm gonna move this over right now. And yeah, like this is just the first smattering of ideas and cities. I could do another round of it if I felt like it, but I feel like in the crumbling lands that are here, I just want to do the one. I think that was good enough. Because ideally we'll have people coming to the island and discovering new things, and leaving it up to the GMs. Like, this isn't, if they want to add a city or settlement somewhere where they think is interesting, I'll let them. You do you. This is a collaborative effort. I'm just doing the blueprint. Yeah. All right. What's next? I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna take a little break. I'm gonna come back in a second. I'm going to pick an area. Maybe I'll put up a vote, but no, I'll just pick an area. I'll pick an area. Detail some of the features around. Maybe in here. It might just be this area here. Detail some of it and kind of go from there. Maybe figure out that haunted forest. Just give you an idea of the random development of backstory. Also, the ways to get ideas from that. I did in another video, but it'd be a cool end cap for this video, or for this map, I think. So, while I figure that all out and set some stuff up, I'm gonna switch to being right back. Welcome back. I haven't quite decided which area I want to do yet, but I'm gonna first bring you over to show you a tool I'll be using. It's in an older video. If you've watched those, you'll be familiar, but it is the Ironsworn RPG. Oh, and I want to, yeah, looks like this. Looks like this. It's free through Ironsworn. You can just Google Ironsworn RPG. It's free through their website. Really cool RPG, but the not sponsored, but yeah, through the RPG, they've got something that I really like, and you can find these other places too. This isn't the only place to get it. Random tables. The oracle tables is what they call them. And you can find random generators online, random things. There's many resources out there. This is the one I like. Because it's got I really like the theme table here. The theme table kind of gives us ideas. We can pick an area on our map and actually roll a couple themes, maybe some action in theme. Those are the two biggest contributors to brainstorming for me. But yeah, I've definitely used random generators online. Random generators to me are great ways to be like, all right, here's the thing. What the hell does this mean? And just coming up with a story behind that. Like a good, even a good like writing exercise for any writing is to write within parameters, be given 3 topics or whatnot, and having to fit that into a story. This is very much the same thing. Giving yourself some parameters, but then allowing yourself room to kind of tie them all together. This has some game-specific stuff as different oracles go down and name generators and whatnot. That's all good, but yeah, the most important ones for our purposes today are these guys. And I've got this here for our recording. So I'm trying to figure out what area to do. Things that come to mind are okay. I'll bring you back over to the map so you can see where I'm pointing to. So, areas on the map, I'm thinking that expansive castle town kind of spoke to me. I like the idea of the dark spire or the impossibly tall fortress. That kind of speaks to me. This area down here I was thinking about too. Just it gives us 3 little things. Maybe a delve into why the swamp is all spooky, and also maybe the hallowed forest over here. Yeah. So what I'll do. Just a final look around, in case I see some. Oh yeah, figuring out the forest would be interesting. I think it's gonna be more interesting to have whoever running it kind of have their own spin on it. You know what? I've settled it. I'm gonna figure out the spooky dark forest over here, the safe mountains, and these kind of this area. These islands is I've decided. So we're gonna figure out what those islands are all about. I'll do a warm up on these guys here. The castle town in the mountains. So for the castle town in the mountains, we're gonna roll a couple times on this. Get us a couple themes for the castle town in the mountains over in this island. There's an easier way to. Yeah. So 94. Ooh, oh, that's not the right one. Oh, I'm gonna spill my water. Alright. Hopefully that's not too loud when I put that down. So, 94. Path. Interesting. Just copy. So I'll bring you over when I've rolled them all. Oh, you know what we can do? We can just do them all at the same time. 25 and 16. 25 is love. Path, love. I'm a fan of using copy paste, but if you're a faster typer than me, Maybe that's easier for you. And innocence. Path, love, and innocence. Oh, this is Castle Anthrax. From the Monty Python sketch. Or movie? I feel like all of their movies are just a series of skits, you know? Maybe that's the point. I love them all, don't get me wrong. Castle, the path to love and innocence. Castle in the southwest. So, yeah. So I got some themes for that. I'm gonna go over to the large town. Just do our dice rolling first, and then that'll do it. Just the first ones I see together. Cool. The large town. Their themes are 93, which is law. Oh, copy. Paste. There we are. Just jumping around to all the wrong pages. 6. Almost said 9, but that is just an upside down 6. Safety. Law, safety. Safety coming up again. Maybe this is where the people in the safe mountains went off to. And 24. Balance. An idea for the path, love, and innocence is maybe it's path is a tough one because that's like obviously it's obviously not a road because it's a castle town. It's not really on its way to anywhere. Maybe the channel through to the other side is maybe a consideration, or maybe it's a religious path. So maybe like an old temple to the goddess of love or whatnot. It's a castle town, so it's like a whole community would be based around that, not just the castle. And this castle fortress, which I guess could include temple, depending on the right circumstances. I think these might be one of the circumstances. Path, love, and innocence. So, yeah. Perhaps that's that. Onto the large town over here. Law, safety, and balance are its themes, or were its themes. We know that it is abandoned. We rolled that earlier. But yeah, just having the maybe so safety stands out. So maybe it's well defended. A well defended area. It's on the top. It's between a ravine. Maybe it's actually closer to the water and defended that way. Figuring out what they might be defended from. And we just said the safety, because the safe mountains were over here before, so it could have been a place tied to each other. Yeah. I'm going to roll on these safe mountains. Safe mountains. And then I'll roll in the spooky dark forest, figure out what's in it. Yeah, and I'm gonna probably do some actions. Figure out what each of the places are about. Like, what do they want to X, Y. But I'll do that after I'm done the safe mountains and the spooky dark forest that surround them. I get that. 26 and 30. I hesitated there because I didn't want another 6. I wanted, diversity, at least in our first couple rolls. So 26. Barrier. Barrier. 65 is dream. What? Another reason I like these tables is they're pretty diverse in their concepts. And again, there's that aspect of going through and having hands-on creation of it. That I do enjoy. 3. Price. Ooh, these safe mountains are getting weirder every time. Every time I do a stream or a video, depending on how you're watching this. Barrier dream price. Alright, and then spooky dark forest. Is it ghosts? Is it some other irritant? We will find out. Oh. 89, 61, 82. Okay. So why... This is about the forest. What's up with the forest? 89. Truth. Interesting. The truth can sometimes be scary. 61. Greed. Perhaps they took too much. 82. Enemy. Yeah, okay. I thought they would be at odds with each other. This kind of fits. So first of all, I want to roll some actions. We're gonna roll action theme for each of these now. I'll show you. I'll bring it back over to the page once we're done rolling, I think. Uh, 23 action and 9 theme. So we'll start with just the first one I've got written down here, which is the what might be temple to some sort of love or innocence god. Where's the thing? There's the thing. Okay. 23 is the action. Oh, manipulate. Oh, here we go. And their whole thing is manipulating wound. Oh, okay. So manipulate wounds. So that says to me that it's definitely a temple, maybe some sort of love goddess, but like the caring and tenderness it says manipulate wound, but like I feel like that is the manipulation of medicine to cure wounds. You're manipulating the wound back together. So you're manipulating it to stop bleeding. So yeah, I really like that. The innocence is still a thing. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself maybe. So we'll figure out what the large town is about. 39 action. Destroy. And 93. Oh, destroy law? What? Alright, interesting. Here we go. So they weren't about it, but maybe that's how it got abandoned. That's why this maybe island fell apart, is that the anarchy took over. The law was destroyed. There was a rebellion, perhaps, and maybe without the support of the large town, the temple town couldn't survive. I like that. That's the brainstorming. That's just coming up with whatever makes sense to you based on things. Now, I will say, I wouldn't roll too many things, because you might get bogged down in trying to include it all. As soon as you roll the dice, you're kind of saying this thing needs to be true somehow. If you roll too many things, you get ahead of yourself. You've put too many things in a barrel, and maybe it's just convoluted at that point. But say I couldn't figure out something for the law safety balance. Rolling another time to maybe adding a single piece will help, or maybe another single piece. But like I said, don't add too many pieces, because then it's a cautionary tale. Do not add too many pieces, or it'll overflow and just be bad. That makes sense? Yeah. All right. But yeah, because it's law, safety, and balance, I think it was very lawful. But the safety of the large town required balance. And once the law was destroyed, the balance was gone, the safety was gone. Once you take out one of the pieces, it all crumbled. So I like that. And maybe that affected the safe mountains over here. Let's see. The action. Oh, put the dice over here. 15 and 73. 15 action raid. The safe mountains we're raiding. 73. Oh. Interesting. So it was raid memory. And if you'll remember, I think some bad stuff was happening in those safe mountains. So I'll roll for the Spooky Dark Forest. I'll bring you over there, and we can brainstorm on the other page and show you what the other tags were. 92 and 4. Action 92 for the Spooky Dark Forest. Distract. Maybe the answer was man was bad the whole time. Distract ally. All right, I'm bringing you over to the other page, which is here. So this is just like the notes I've been taking on what's been rolled. It's, take notes, it'll be good. I will probably eventually write longer notes about them and the things we're discussing here, but that's not super fun to watch or listen to me tack on the type, so we're just going to talk about it. So here, safety, the safe mountains. Safe was a modifier that we rolled before, so I think there was some sort of maybe secret base or a secret facility or something happening in these mountains. It was secure and safe from the outside world, or maybe from the other things, but it also has dream and price. So dream was interesting and abstract, but I do like the raid memory. I think kind of pairs with the dream well, because maybe there's some weird magic going on, because this area definitely, I definitely plan to have magic here. This is not a magic devoid area, so maybe they're using dreams to be able to raid people's memories. Maybe there's some dreamscape weirdness there. Maybe that leaked out into the spooky dark forest. And I think the people in the safe mountains maybe leaked stuff, or maybe whatever they're doing has some weird toxic runoff, but like not toxic in the way waste is toxic, but in the way that weird magic messes up the stuff around the area it's happening. Oh, hey, Too Many Bears. Yeah, we're just talking about the backgrounding of some areas. So yeah, the spooky dark forest is, maybe it has because that makes sense. The truth of the area is that it is this weird magic runoff from the Safe Mountains facility. I'm even gonna write that down now, just so I don't forget. Yeah, the spooky card forest. That's where we play goth Pokemon. Thanks, though. Truth, greed, and enemy. So the enemy is interesting, but also to distract allies. So I think the people in the facility have that magic runoff going in there, and I think they're trying to develop a problem. See, we don't know if this place is abandoned or not. And I think I like that. I think I'll leave that up to figuring that out when they decide to go there. Yeah, this is for the background anyway. The spooky dark forest. Yeah, I think it's a product of the greed of whoever's running the facility. It holds the truth that it is all just magic runoff, and something's going down in those mountains. And maybe it's got enemies. Maybe this runoff is making the land kind of like evil fae. I agree. Yeah, or just maybe not even fae, just weirdly animated elementals or woods, or the animals are being affected negatively. Yeah, they have created an enemy, I think, of the wildlife there, or and yeah, it's all to distract their allies, because whoever's working in that facility is maybe allies, or was allies with some of the other areas. And we could even connect these two. I think we were talking about connecting them because they both had like safe kind of keywords. The safe mountain safe mountain facility. I mean, these two areas, law and safety. Yeah, maybe people found out what was going on here as the distraction. Like connecting all three of these might be interesting. Yeah, they do like. I do like Evil Fae. Depending on how you want to do it, the Fae could have been corrupted as a result of the poisoning of the forest. Yep. Not directly, if that was the intent. I don't think the facility kind of intended to do that, but once they realized what it was doing, maybe they kind of used that to their advantage. Like, because once it started, once they figured out the truth of why the forest was being twisted, maybe they used that to distract their allies. That which I think were in the large town over here, the law, safety, and once the government or whatever was found out who was running the safe mountain facility, once that got out, maybe that's when this town kind of collapsed. So yeah, exactly. They had the choice of stopping or continuing and using it to be not found out, to distract their allies, and I think that's what happened. Magic Agent Orange, or just like byproduct. That's just magic byproduct orange. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, that's it's kind of the example of just brainstorming. Now we got a cool. If the people want to, okay, I'll bring over. There's not much to look at on this page. Stand by. There we go. So yeah, that's we're just talking about these couple areas here. Now yeah, and just like now we've got kind of a cool adventure between all of these areas. Being able to tie them together, trying to do that, and yeah, on one of my other videos I did kind of like a larger area. I don't think I'll do so much of that for this one. Maybe I'll do another stream if I feel like kind of going through this map some more. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I do to brainstorm. Anyway, I hope that helps other people in their brainstorming or trying to come up with ideas when you make maps like this, or maps your own way. If you make maps your own way, you can still use the Iron Sworn type of style that we did. You can go through and randomly roll these things. I don't know what World Anvil is, but also, yes, I kind of want to scan it. I want to have a copy that I can put up and then hex it all out. Another reason I don't want to quite do all of the going through it right now is because I don't have a hex thing to put over top of it that I'm happy with. And this is just an overlay, and I can kind of work with this or maybe take a picture of this somehow. But yeah. Apparently you can't say whatever you're going to say. Oh, you probably put in a link. I can look it up. World Anvil. I'll make a note. I'll put it in the note for this. World Anvil. I'll look at that later. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. For safety reasons, I don't want links in the thing. I hope you understand. But yeah. So I think that's it for this. Yeah. I'm trying to remember if I had anything else to say about this map. Yeah, I think I will in the future maybe go through a couple more of these areas and kind of do that when I'm feeling a little more creative. Cool. World Anvil for stairs. It sounds familiar. I might have checked it out. You know what, I'm just gonna Google search right now. World Anvil. Yeah. I think I might have to use something. Yes. I was looking at World Anvil actually for like ways to draw maps and whatnot. And one of my friends just I say just, but like a year ago almost now, I guess, kickstarted a map building program. And I think I would take something like this and I'll get the hex out of the way. Take something like this and then transfer it over into like a map making thing. If I liked Incarnate, I could do it there. But yeah, just taking something like this and then running it through something a little more polished. If I was better at Photoshop, maybe that. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I think I can put points on a map as well with this. Yeah, so I think I'll look into World Anvil for this. Thanks for the tip, Too Many Bears. Cool. But yeah, I think I'm done for the map for the night. I was just thinking about it. Points on it. Yeah, cool. Yes, exactly. That's the kind of thing I want. I can put my map there, and then this point. What does this mean? Here's my notes on it. Yeah, no, I remember looking at World Anvil and thinking it would be good, but at the time I was looking at it, I was looking for... Oh. What's gone wrong? Oh, I see it. I need to do that. Okay. The time I was looking at World Anvil, I was actually looking for something that I could better build a map on. So I kind of just passed it off as something that wasn't useful to me at the time, but I think now that I have a map, taking notes and putting notes on there is actually going to be really helpful. So thanks for the reminder. Yeah, for the map anyway. You'll notice we went through and kind of put cities and whatnot all over. You can watch that in the VOD. But for the map, I think I'm done. But I realized that I haven't finished, or I haven't even really started Banner Saga 2. And I think I'm going to play that after, and I might as well keep streaming. So if you're into watching Banner Saga 2, then I'm going to be playing that after. I'm going to take another short break as I boot that up and whatnot. Yeah. I think I want a better version of this. I think I don't like all the yellow around. You said to get it laminated, but I think I'd want to maybe redo this map before I would finalize it, you know? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dry erase on. So, that map of Chult, I actually have a laminated version that I would have for players and give it to them so they could actually draw in the portions of the map that they were finding, and I thought that was really cool. I think because I want to give this map to the players in a way that is just the coastline, so maybe, and like the coastline of maybe this stuff as well, because if I can give them just the coastline, they can kind of pick out where they want to go, and maybe like some of the mountain features that they can see from the coastline, to kind of give them an indication of what's where, to not, give too much away here. I mean, sure, they could watch these videos, but that's cheating and bad. Yeah. So anyway, I'll be back in about 10 minutes. We're done with the map, but now we're gonna try and play some Banner Saga 2. All right, thanks for that. If you're heading out for the map, but yeah, until next time.